and welcome to Up Dog Sports Talk. We are in the final, last but not least edition of our conference previews. As you can tell by what all of us are wearing, we are talking about Sunbelt, and I am joined today by our friends over at a college football podcast. Guys, introduce yourselves.
What's up, everybody? I'm Joe, also known as Espo on the pod. But also, and if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear me referred to as Jeff as well. I'm the social media guy, so don't forget to drop us a follow, hit us up, question us. Updog Sports, they're great. We love them. We're happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm Pat, Poolside Pat, as you can see there. As Espo said, at a college FB pod, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, I'm kind of the host-ish of our show, and Joe and Espo. Joe, who's not here right now, Espo. They are kind of we've been together for a long time, and we love college football, and we love the Sun Belt. And we are very, very honored to be here on Updog Sports Talk to talk some Sun Belt and just to talk football, man. Football is so close. We're so close.
I know.
Oh,
Man.
Guys, 3 days.
3 days. We are almost there. It'll be 2 days when this video posts tomorrow. We are so excited. So let's dive in here. The Fun Belt is an incredibly good and just deep conference. It was very hard to put these tiers together, to be honest, because everyone is looking actually pretty good this year. But diving into this, we have our favorites category here: James Madison, Texas State, Louisiana, and Georgia Southern. Are there any surprises that stick out to you guys when you look at the teams that are in this tier?
Go ahead.
Not really. I mean, I would say the only real surprise team I'd have on there would be Georgia Southern, but other than that, no. I mean, they had a really good year the last year or two, so them making that stride into that tier, it makes sense. It's not a surprise, but to the caliber of the other consistencies the other schools have had, I wouldn't say no.
And who were they again? I'm sorry. Who did you have in the top bracket?
If you could show we had I'll go ahead and pull it back up here. We had Texas State, James Madison, Louisiana, and Georgia Southern.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you have probably the top four. I think that there are two, maybe three that I would say could sneak into that realm. But at this point, I think that that's the consensus at this point, and it's hard to argue against. I mean, the Fun Belt, could get weird. So I'm sure we're going to get into that, but just to go off of those first four, yeah, I think that's the consensus going into the season for sure.
JMU is favored to win the conference this year.
Yeah, absolutely. JMU is a lock. Texas State, I think, is also a lock. I think the other two, Georgia Southern. I think Georgia Southern is one of those. I mean, I don't know how much we're gonna get into it. Old Dominion for sure. You know, Louisiana. I mean, I'm gonna rep for my Coastal Carolina, but I'm sure that there's other tiers that we're gonna get into that some of these teams fit into. I think off the rip, I think that's definitely where most people would have it. Rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to it in a moment, but this is at least a tier that seems to carry the most hype going into the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, of course, we remember last year, Appalachian State entered the season as a favorite, and things did not go to plan. So with that in mind, is there a team in this opening tier here that looks like that could end up in a similar situation where some things go wrong and maybe they end up falling down in the pack a little bit?
Well, so can I read our fellow podcast co-host Joe, who's sick and can't be on? Can I read what he had to say about App State before we move on?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and he's like the most knowledgeable college football fan that I know. He has App State as a dark horse contender The Dowell Loggins era begins, and App State may be flying under the radar. They have a well-traveled quarterback, A.J. Swan, formerly of LSU and Vandy, who brings experience and talent to a new offense with a new offensive mindset head coach, coupled with former Arkansas running back Rashad Dubinian. I probably butchered that. The offense hopes to put to get together quickly and strike fast. A fortuitous opening 3 games gets them ready for a trip to Boise, which will definitely be a test. He thinks 7-5 and 8-4 is a good spot for App State. So, just wanted to get that out there. Shout out to Joe. He's not feeling good, but
so I think where they're ranked on that tier list is fine.
Yeah, I would agree.
But to get to your original question for that, I'd say Marshall. Honestly, if there's a team I had to pick that is going into the season as hyped as they are, but could obviously falter and drop down in just the rankings themselves, and then just on their face because of the team that they have, I would say it would be Marshall. I mean, they had a great year last year. I'm not taking that away from them. But let's not forget that they had a lot of transfers. That whole squad left. They didn't have enough players for a bowl game. They had to forfeit the bowl game because everybody hit the transfer portal and said, hey, I'm out. I'm going somewhere better, somewhere bigger. So, yes, they filled out with those spots with new transfers, obviously, which is great. It's just what they needed. And they have the underclassmen and the red shirts and all those guys that were waiting for that opportunity to play anyway. But, I mean, that team that they were last year completely wiped the slate. That is not the same Marshall team we saw last year. So if there's a team I had to pick that on paper right now is a good team that could obviously not do well, I'm picking Marshall. I hope they do well. Don't get me wrong. They're a fun team to watch, but if I had to pick one, it would be them.
Yeah, and I'll pull it back up real quick, but another fun fact about this second tier here, the reason why they all ended up in this section is because they aren't receiving a ton of hype for one reason or another. Marshall is very much justified with everyone they lost and App State coming off of last year. But this is where 9 of the last 10 Sun Belt championships have come from. It's come from these 5 teams.
Yeah.
So, these teams have a tradition of winning. Each of them kind of had their questions, but that is why I actually gave it this way. I called it the can't rule them out because at any point, any one of these teams can pull it together here. I guess we can kind of just scroll. We'll go because we've kind of gone on tiers here with 9 teams. Let's go kind of team by team here. Let's start with the JMU Dukes. How are you guys feeling about the Dukes this year?
I mean, good. Like I said, they're favored to win the whole thing. They have a good retaining squad coming back. Yes, they've lost transfers to the draft. It's fine. It happens. But overall, that offense and that defense is looking good. And I think the coaching staff is geared up for another good season. And everything that they've had working for them is going to work again for them going into this year. So they're going to be a fun team to watch. Go Dukes, I guess, really. I mean, who doesn't like watching JMU? I mean, we talk about it on our show all the time, especially Pat. He loves to ride JMU when he makes his bets. And sometimes we have to talk him out of it, but he's the better on the show. He knows what he's doing. In Pat, we trust when it comes to bets. So, JMU is going to be fun again. That's all I'm going to say.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I'm a horrible gambler, but the what I would say is, I mean, yeah, JMU is going to be the favorite by far. They got Matt Sluker coming in with Bob Chesney. They could be favored in the majority of their games, 10, 11, 12 of their games going into this season. I'd be shocked if JMU is not playing for the conference championship going forward. I mean, it would be a certain upset if that was not the case. So, no, I think that's one of the locks for this conference, and for them to potentially try and I couldn't. Who knows? College football playoff. I'd probably.
Hey, I was on a show the other night with someone that took him in our college football team draft. He took him. He said he's got him going to the playoffs.
You never
It's
know.
not far
You never
fetched.
know. You never know. They could go undefeated. I think there's a good chance that they go into their conference championship game with one loss, and who knows what happens at that point. So I think that's there's no reason why that can't happen.
They'll get snubbed by the committee somehow. We all know it. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, that's definitely a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a chance for that. The Louisville game is going to definitely be a huge key for them. That's a
I think
chance to
they'll
make
be
a
favored.
statement victory.
I think they'll
They
be
can do
favored.
it.
If they're
They can
not
do it.
favored, they won't be. It will be less than a touchdown. So,
I
and
mean,
you
that Louisville
know,
squad's not looking like a top of the mountain David and Goliath
especially
team anyways.
by that point, you never know. So,
Exactly.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Just hands up.
but the other challenge for the college football playoff is this conference is deep. I think that's been the Sun Belt's been one of the best G5 conferences for a while
Oh,
now. But the
yeah,
biggest problem has been it's just so good. There's so many good teams that eventually someone trips you up, and we saw JMU trip up a couple times last year.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah,
it's
But
they call it Sun Belt Fun Belt for a reason. It's just there's
yep,
never a
yeah,
boring game.
yep.
yeah, absolutely, and especially
Got my Chanticleer sniffing around. Come on now, let's get out of here. I mean,
so
what are you gonna do?
we'll go to the Bobcats now. Last year, so much hype. The Take Back Texas movement was in full force, and
They did.
then they still had a really good year, but fell a little bit short of the conference title hopes. Took some questionable losses to Georgia State and Old Dominion. How are you feeling about the Bobcats this year? Is this year they can kind of get over that hump?
I really hope so. It's because it would be a nice send off for them, especially that they're leaving the Sun Belt after this year. They're moving to the Pac-12 or the Pac whatever number of teams there are. Um, yeah, I mean, last year they had a great year. They faltered a little bit, like you said, in those couple games, so they definitely should not have. I mean, yes, going into this year, we lost our starting quarterback, our running back duo, a couple wide receivers, but defense for the most part stayed the same. Yes, we lost some guys to the draft transfer, but that defense is not deplenished by any means necessary. And yes, the transfer portal is fine. Like we've recruited great, so I think GJ is ready to take that leap. Obviously, they're making the jump from Sun Belt to Pac-12, but he's ready to make that jump for the title this year. We'll see what happens because new offensive weapons are coming in, so you never really know. And their schedule's not looking terrible. It's solid. It's not an easy schedule by any means, but it's not a hard one by like a gauntlet of a run. So they took back Texas last year. I think they're going to do it again.
And key game there, there's a Tuesday night game where Texas State hosts JMU. That
Yeah,
one's
that
going
one's
to
going to be
be
a bloodbath. It's going to be
that
fantastic.
that's Fun Belt at its peak right there
Oh,
for
absolutely,
sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I think that could be the conference championship game. Like, when all is said
It
and
could be,
done.
yeah,
Could
absolutely.
be
No,
a preview.
no, absolutely. I
I
mean,
mean, uniform matchup wise too, that's a fantastic matchup.
that is
You
a
can't go
Oh
great
wrong with that.
yeah,
uniform. Yeah,
the maroon
that
and
is.
purple. Ooh, that's great.
Oh,
Both with the
that
gold and the
is.
white highlights. Oh, it's just
Oh,
Yeah.
chef's kiss out here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
that is such a good
It's gonna be
uniform
electric.
game. I don't know how to,
Yeah,
I would. I
I
don't
hope they
even know
do it
how I
right.
would bet that. How do I bet that? Just take the over.
Be the first one.
No, I'll just take the over. That's it. I can't bet on either
Life's
Let's
too
just
side.
take
I'll
the
just
over.
take the over. Yeah, whatever.
life's too short to bet the under, right, Pat?
On what?
Life's too short to bet the under.
Absolutely, especially in the Sun Belt.
No facts.
Yeah.
You won't catch me taking no unders in the Sun Belt
Never.
unless it makes sense. Then I will.
Oh, that makes sense. And then, in which case, I mean, there's not a lot of prime under teams in this league.
No.
These teams love to score. Mention quarterbacks that can sling it. The Raging Cajuns just named Walker Howard the starter. He is a former 5-star, been buried in some deep quarterback rooms. Now he gets his chance at the Cajuns. What are we looking at for Louisiana this year?
I mean, man, they've always been a thorn in the side of my Chanticleers, and just in general, I feel like you're always seeing the Raging Cajuns uh, kind of make a name for themselves in one way or another. I don't know, they're always popping up. maybe it's just because I bet so many bets. Yeah, I mean, you got they're probably right around 8 wins, 7.5, 8 wins this year. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's a team to look at. They got the running backs, not just they've got the blanking, um, Bill Davis, I believe is one of them, and then Perry, can't think of his first name, uh, who combined for nearly 1,500 yards. And I think that, and they're bringing back a bunch of people. This is a team to look at. I don't know if they could. It's the Sun Belt. It's the Sun Belt Fun Belt. I If you told me right now that the Raging Cajuns would be in the championship game, I couldn't tell you no. That's what I would say. I think that they're a sleeper. I think they end up more middle of the pack if I had gun to my head as a gambling man. But if you told me they win 8 games and they're in the championship game, I wouldn't tell you no.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, with the Raging Cajuns, I always feel like in college football discussions anyway, they're always in a discussion, not like, top contender of the country by any means, but like a
Fundraising.
contender for sure in the Sun Belt, a contender for sure in just hitting overs and having a favorable schedule where they're going to win games, they're going to compete in bowl games. Like they're always around. Like people recognize the Raging Cajuns, they recognize their logo, they know who they are, they know where they are. So they're not a team that is not well known. So I think Raging Cajuns again in the conversation of winning the conference, always there, always there.
I
Oh yeah.
remembered his first name. Zylan. It was a fun name. Zylan Perry.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Zylan
Fantastic.
Perry and Bill Davis, the two running backs that you can look at. Yeah, I mean, and they brought back a lot of guys. So I mean, the Raging Cajuns always sniffing around. They're always like I said, 7.5. I could see it being 6, 7, or 8 wins, maybe even 9 if the ball falls their way, pun intended. Who knows? I mean, I think we would all agree James Madison, North Texas are probably the top two, but then there's a couple teams that can certainly uh, you know hop in there as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And yeah, this team definitely has a lot of talent. I think they kind of spent a couple years falling more in that 7 win range, and then last year we saw them back in the Sun Belt contention again, and they definitely expect to stay there.
Yep,
So
love the
we can
overs.
go mentioning overs. Let's talk about Arkansas State. Dylan
Yeah,
Rayner, Corey Rucker, an incredible quarterback wide receiver duo. This team's going to put up points, guys.
Yeah, they are. I fully expect them to hit the over every time, probably by the first half, if I'm being honest. I mean, the way that they played last year, Arkansas State is not a team to be overlooking by any means on anyone's schedule. And I'm not just talking about Sun Belt. I'm talking about out of conference games for them. Like whoever is having them travel to their home, or if they're traveling there, watch out. They're not a team you can just run over. Like they will sling the ball. They will test your defense. If your defense isn't ready, you might lose. I'm not gonna lie, you might lose that game. They are ready to sling the rock. They're not afraid to. They'll run it down your throat if they have to. And that defense is solid. It's they'll lock you up if they need to.
I love Rayner. Uh, it's a shame that he's playing for not a shame. I don't want to use that word. Talented kid. I guess that's what I'm
You
gonna
wish he was
say.
a Chanticleer.
Well, yeah, for sure. Absolutely, obviously, yes. But just a talented arm, talented kid, and one that, yeah, I mean, it's a guy that people aren't going to see, which stinks. But no, yeah, Arkansas State. I don't see them being win loss wise up into that upper echelon. I think I don't know. I mean, last year 3-6. Or excuse me, no. They were not 3-6 last year. I could see them being in that range. Just in the Sun Belt alone, 3, 4, 5 wins. 5 probably would be the ceiling, and a bowl game, obviously in the is potentially, yeah. I could see Arkansas State getting a bowl game this year, and but I don't think they go higher than that. So, but Rayner is and the receiver, you said his name. What's the
Rucker.
Rucker, yeah. Rayner and Rucker is just could be a deadly combination, and it's fun to watch. But I just don't know if they have enough on the defensive side of the ball to really make much noise. But they'll be fun.
Yeah, defense is very portal heavy. You're going to need those guys to come together. If it does, then we're looking at them being jumping in as a contender there.
Yeah,
But this is also a team that really lived by the sword last year. I think they won like 7, 8 one-score games.
Yep, something like that. Something crazy. I remember seeing that stat.
Yeah, it was nuts. So obviously, if you want an entertaining team to watch, this is your team because a lots of one-score games. But at the same time, you see those flip in the wrong direction, and it could be a long year for them.
yep, yep. Yeah, but it's always
So
fun to
we'll
have
get
one of those
to
teams. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have a team like that that's just entertaining. You know they're gonna be problematic if it's close. You gotta get up by 2 scores on them in a hurry and get them out of the game.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was gonna pivot us to the Troy Trojans.
Oh
Now,
boy.
before the coaching changed everything, they had won the last 2 Sun Belt titles before that. But then last year was a full-on reset. How big of a rebound do we think we could see out of Troy this year?
Not very big. I mean, I think they'll be okay. It'll be a step up from last year, but it doesn't happen overnight. Look at any team that's ever made a switch like that. It does not happen like that. So, step in the right direction for them if they're doing a full reset, but they're not going to be that team that's, hey, you're entertaining to watch this much compared to the other teams in this conference. Like, yeah, we're not going to overlook you, but it's nothing to be worried about for the most part. And if they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong. But I don't see them having a 0 to hero type of scenario for a season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they have a lot. They have a lot going. There's a lot going on for the Troy Trojans. I think as you said, they came in back to back 2022, 2023. But then clearly things changed. Um, you know, Caldwell, Ross, Taylor. I don't even know if how many of those 3 are still there, unless they all 3 of them are still there. It's just about.
If I
I mean, go ahead.
if I remember correctly, I think Ross is now at Penn State.
So they're again just adding to that. No, I don't. I think it's going to be tough to get to 6 wins. I don't see them being very competitive in the Sun Belt by itself. Yeah, I mean it's a fall from grace, but I think this is a year. Or this is a rebuild year. This is a year where you look at what they do this year and can then project what the coming
It's
year
like a
is going to
building
be.
block for them.
Correct.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
last year was a
absolutely.
complete wipe.
I
This
think
year is
they'd
that
be.
first pour of concrete, and then you go from there.
I think they'd be thrilled to win 5 games in the 4 games in the Sun Belt, and then take what you get with the other games, and hopefully be at a bowl game, potentially be at a bowl game. Uh, it's a proud school. It's proud, you know, that people who don't know, yeah, Troy is generally in the conversation for bowl games at the very least, and I think it would be it's something that they're going to be shooting for, but they don't stand a chance in this. I think we've talked about it now. We've talked about a bunch of schools stacked. I think the Sun Belt has a lot of good teams. It's a tough
Yeah,
freaking
absolutely.
conference. Yeah, it's a tough conference that people don't give enough credit to.
It's just so deep. Like
Oh
every
yeah,
team has their elements that makes them really
and
good.
they're
Like,
fun.
Yeah,
And they're fun.
yeah,
yeah. They just don't get the TV coverage that they deserve.
Well, we watch
yeah,
them.
It's
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking. Because every
them.
now and then you'll catch them on TV, and you're like, who are these schools? And you're
Just,
like, oh,
Justin,
it's the Sun Belt. And then you're like,
Justin,
oh my God, these guys are fun to watch. Can't wait to tune in next week. And then next week comes, and you're like, I can't find any of their games.
Justin, who is your team?
I know.
I'm sorry.
My team in the Sun Belt.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Oh, in the Sun Belt, ULM.
In general.
Obviously, now overall, I'm a Bowling Green alum, so that's
nice.
my main team. Yep.
Love that.
So I'm a Maction guy, but obviously also a Fun Belt enjoyer.
Maction, baby. Yeah, so you understand. You understand. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets it.
Yeah.
Love that, man.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Troy goes, when they're good because they've beaten my LSU Tigers in Tiger Stadium before. So, like, that's not this team this year, but if they can get back to being a good squad again, like, they're no one to worry about. Like, they are a good squad, but it's not going to be this year.
Yeah, and I mean, this is never when you're talking about over teams in the Sun Belt. Troy is never your over team. They are an under team. This team is always putting guys in the NFL on defense. Their offense usually is a little bit more conservative. But I mean, they got some guys at linebacker again this year. But again, like their offense needs to take baby steps. Goose Crowder, awesome name. He needs to stay healthy this year, quarterback. Like we need to talk more about how Troy went from Gunnar Watson to Goose Crowder. I mean, talk about great first names.
I mean, I think that's all they're doing there in recruiting is just who's got a great name, a cool name, a dope name, go get them, bring them in. That's all they want.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like just, hey, all right, Gunnar, this guy's the quarterback for sure. Get him in here. And then next year, all right, get Goose.
Well, they tried to get General Booty in there, but you guys snagged him up real quick. So
that's funny.
Yeah, which General Booty, he's not a ULM anymore. I honestly don't know where he ended up.
I don't know where he ended up either, but I know he's with you guys for a little bit.
His first name was actually General? First name
the General's gone.
His first name was General?
Yeah.
Yes, his first name was actually General.
His last name is actually Booty.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I love college football so much.
It's the best. It's the absolute best.
It's the best. I can't wait for Saturday. Oh my gosh.
I know. We're so close. But
so close.
Let's get to your guys. Field Nation, Coastal Carolina. How are you feeling about the Chants this year?
Oh, come on, man. I mean, it's time. Well, okay. I'm not gonna go too crazy, but it's Coastal, baby. It's you know, it is gonna come down to the quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I don't know, man. It's been tough. Last year was tough. I thought so. And our show knows, you know, I don't know if you are aware of this, Justin. First of all, we are the we claim to be the #1 Sunbelt podcast on the internet. So just so you know. Yeah, I mean it's
We're like
Tim
Auburn
Beck
with national championships.
Well, yeah,
we
sure.
just claimed it. We just claimed it.
Don't get me wrong. I miss.
Go for it.
And we almost had Jamie Chadwell on the freaking show before he left, but clearly that didn't happen. No, I mean it's gonna come down to a lot of things. It's gonna be the portal that he did this offseason, where he went and got a bunch of solid players. They got the kid from New Mexico State, Seton Hill. I don't know why it says that. Eastern Michigan. I mean, he went and stacked up on the defensive side of the ball. Didn't really go too crazy on the offensive side of the ball. You know, Emmett Brown from San Jose State, MJ Morris from Maryland. I mean, it's almost a complete rebuild. This going into the season, which doesn't leave me too confident. But this is a team, and I believe in Beck. I believe in Beck. I think he was the right. What's the word I'm looking for? He was the right successor.
Oh,
Right?
okay, successor. Yeah.
To Mr. Chadwell. I think their receiving core could eventually be okay. They've got this kid Malcolm Gilby from Ball State, and then a bunch of FCS transfers, who were the 3 FCS transfers combined for almost 2,200 yards last season. Um, but they're
pretty good.
But they're coming. But it's FCS. They're coming from a lesser league, and the Sun Belt is not something to snuff at. I would be happy as a Coastal guy with a bowl game. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say right now, I do not think they sniff the championship. I would be happy with 6 wins and continue to building on what they're building on with a new head coach and a bunch of these changes. But I'm excited. I'm a big, I adopted Coastal as my team. I'm a New England guy. So is Espo. We're up in Connecticut. Don't I root for a bunch of different teams. I don't have an alma mater other than Rutgers. I've been going to school at Rutgers for the last couple of years, so I root for Rutgers. Um, but I have a bunch of different teams. But I've adopted Coastal Carolina, as you can see, and I root for them, and I'm hoping for at least a bowl game because that would be sick. And I think they have the chance to do it. 5 to 7 wins, probably 4 to 6 wins. Actually, would probably be my prediction.
I was going to say, Pat, how many wins? What's the highest win total you have?
I think 6 is probably the tops. I really do. I really do think that. It's a new regime. It's a whole lot of new players. But I do believe in Beck.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys should have a good program this year. I mean, like, I agree with everything you said. So you still have one of the best fields in the game, though. So
I agree.
Just putting it out there.
100%.
Teal Turf, baby. Teal Turf is undefeated.
And they made the college baseball World Series this year, so shout out to the Chanticleers.
They did.
Yeah. I saw that team in April. I was down in Myrtle Beach, and I was like, hey, you know what? While in Myrtle Beach, gotta catch Coastal. Had no idea what the team would become. I knew they're good, but yeah, to make it to the College World Series is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I like that team a lot. But yeah, for this year, it was just very tough with the portal losses. They've been hit pretty hard the last few years, so that's been a real big challenge for them. And of course, making matters worse was like Emmett Brown was a guy I was really high on. I think I just saw he tore his ACL, so he's out for the year. I'm sorry to report that bad news to you.
That is a live reaction, folks. That is.
Oh no! I just broke the news to him. Oh no!
Justin, we're gonna need you to confirm that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I should have known that, but I didn't know it.
Please be a rumor. Please be a rumor. It's not true. Fingers crossed.
No, I should have known that, but I didn't know it.
Let's see here. Suffers a season-ending injury.
Season-ending is all.
They just called it a lower body.
Okay, but it's season-ending.
Yeah.
Damn.
So MJ Morris is probably most likely your guy, but
season ending is knee or ankle.
Can we move on to Espo and whoever else?
So maybe on a more positive note, let's go to some sleepers, guys. Old Dominion and Southern Miss. Old Dominion is a team that I felt like was super slept on to start the off season. And then slowly but surely, people started doing some research, including us, and started seeing, you know what, this team could be pretty good. What are your thoughts on them?
I agree. I also feel like last year, as a team throughout the season, everyone was like, it's Old Dominion. It's fine, whatever. And they're like, no, wait, this Old Dominion squad's actually, it's kind of good. Like, they're playing some good ball. And then, the season ended. It had a good season. The off season happened. Yes, they lost some players to the transfer portal, but they gained some good ones as well. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. This offseason, people are like, it's Old Dominion again. They're nothing crazy. They're really rarely in the big news about a powerhouse of a program, a school doing this, that, whatever. But now people are starting to follow them, and they're like, I think Ole Miss is going to be fun to watch this year. So I hope that they do well and they keep the momentum alive, because if they do, that just adds more of a powerhouse to the Sun Belt League that we're talking about. So let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The is it confirmed that it will be Colton Joseph?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Yeah. Officially, Colton Joseph is quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he's certainly showed some promise. And then, but they do have this kid. I don't know if you all know who about this man, Jason Henderson.
Yeah.
Who's gonna get drafted. I mean, since 2022, 167 tackles. I mean, he's just a monster.
Just a dog.
Their defense is what's going to be the difference for Old Dominion, and I think if I sleeper, sure. Do I think they're going to sniff a championship? Probably not. But will I look for them to make noise? Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, what's their schedule looking like? Do we know? Do they have a
Hang on
schedule?
Let me pull it up here.
Because you, Justin, read them out, and we'll just
call out
wins, losses.
This is our favorite game to play on the college football podcast. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, pull up football schedules and run with it. All right.
Oh, it's the best.
So they open the season at Indiana.
Loss.
Yeah, most likely. North Carolina Central.
Win.
At Virginia Tech.
Ooh.
I want to say loss, but that one could go.
That could be a win.
Right now.
That could be where you see some Fun Belt magic.
Yeah,
that'd
absolutely.
be a fun one. Wait, I think hold on.
Tech?
I think I might have something about this. Hold up. Yeah, Old Dominion over Virginia Tech, week 2. Dominion's front 7 returns key playmakers. Virginia Tech breaking in a new QB. That could be an upset watch. We're gonna go win. Let's go win.
Are they in Virginia Tech?
It is at Virginia Tech. Unfortunately, since those coaches got trapped in the elevator, Virginia Tech decided they're not going back.
Yeah, we're going.
You know what?
Also, don't forget, not only did they get trapped in the elevator, don't forget the result of that game too.
True.
That's why they're not going back.
But yeah, let's chalk that one up as a W.
Yeah. So wait, that's
all right.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. Then next, they get a bye week, and then they play the Liberty Flames. So it's getting spicy in the Commonwealth, guys.
Wow.
Liberty is not a easy school to play.
That is tough. That's at Liberty? That's at Liberty?
No, at Old Dominion. It is at Old Dominion.
Oh,
I'm still taking the L for them.
Yeah, I took the L. 2-2. 2-2.
All right, now the early part of the Sun Belt schedule kind of difficult. They open with Coastal at home. Not on the teal turf.
Come on, Pat, call it.
Win. Old Dominion wins.
All right.
3-2.
At Marshall.
4-2.
Yep.
At JMU.
Loss.
4-3.
Yeah. Home against Appalachian State.
Ooh.
That is going to be
a
good game.
Yeah.
That is a game to watch for sure.
Ooh.
I'd say win. I say win.
I was gonna say 5-3.
That one's a tough one. That one's a really tough one. Let's see.
That's gonna be a good one to watch, though.
So the last 2 years, 2023, Old Dominion beat Appalachian State 28-21. Last year, Appalachian State won 28-20. Oh, it's gonna be a tight one.
Yeah, we'll chalk it for the sake of this. Yeah, Old Dominion wins. Yeah.
5-3.
At ULM.
6-3.
Ooh, 6-3. Yeah.
All right. Then
shout out our guy Billy.
Then Troy.
7-3.
At Georgia Southern.
No, that's a loss. 7-4.
I was gonna say I don't think they squeak out that many wins in a row.
Yeah, that game in Statesboro, plus Old Dominion kind of trounced Georgia Southern last year, which cost Georgia Southern a chance at the title. I think they're going to be looking for revenge in that one.
That's 7-4, and Georgia Southern's a better team right now.
Yeah, Georgia State to end the season.
Ooh,
at home.
That's a toss-up.
Initial gut said loss.
We're looking at
It is.
We're looking at 6 to 8 wins for Old Dominion.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
So let's
I
call
think
it
that's
7 to
fair.
5. That's a
Yeah.
bowl game eligible.
Yeah, I think it's between.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they win 6 games at the very least.
Oh, absolutely. I think they get a
I
bowl
love
game
that
for
game.
sure.
I could do a whole show on just wins and losses, like doing that.
Yeah, it's
I love that
It's
game.
it's so much fun. Just like pull up football schedules and
So
just
much
go. All
fun.
right, let's go through it.
It's the
dude.
most
That's what
fun
we
thing
did for.
ever. What do we do
I'll
that
tag
for?
you in the post tomorrow, but it's what we did for our
Oh
Big
yeah, for
Ten and our
Big Ten.
SEC
Yeah,
predictions.
yeah.
On the new episode, when Pat drops the episode tomorrow,
Tomorrow,
you'll see our rankings of it, and yeah, it's
yeah. Yeah,
what we did for that. So
we
it's a
tier
fun
ranked.
game we're doing
We
now.
tier ranked the SEC and Big Ten. Hopefully, making a lot of people mad. And then we did.
It's true.
We did.
It's
Our
kind
schedule
of crazy.
I'm sure they'll have a perfectly reasonable reaction to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course. It's the
yeah,
internet, of course.
duh. Yeah, the internet will
Yeah.
react perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Oh, jeez. All right, yeah. What do we got?
So
What do we got?
this is why the Sun Belt is so deep. Like, if you want to find a way to make a conference deeper, take your best team and send their coach and a lot of their players to your worst team. That is what happened with Southern Miss. How are you guys feeling about the Golden Eagles?
I like them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too keen on. I'm not too caught up with everything that's been going on with them, but I do like them. I just don't have enough for me to go off of and make a good prediction on their outcome this year. So middle of the pack is fine with me for them. I mean, I'm sure that they're a good squad. I just don't have enough research on them right now for me to make a solid prediction for the future.
Yeah, because
I will tell you this.
Go ahead.
I will tell you this. So they have Marshall's quarterback from last year.
Yeah.
They have two of Marshall's top receivers,
Yeah.
and they have like most of Marshall's secondary and a few other Marshall players scattered in there. Charles Huff is over there now. So yeah, they have a lot of Marshall's old team.
So they're Marshall South, is what I'm hearing.
They're very close to Marshall South. Now they may not have the depth that Marshall had, but
they had the talent they had last year. So middle of the pack for sure. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is one of those teams that I really have a hard time pegging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's Braylon Braxton at the helm, quarterback-wise. Yeah, it is jarring the amount of Marshall players that they just grabbed. Yeah, I mean, and you know, and they have the coordinator Blake Anderson. He brought from Utah State Grant Page and a guard. I'm not gonna be able to pronounce. That's what our other Joe is good at is pronouncing names, but a starting guard. Yeah, I mean it's literally like a arts and crafts team. Like they've been.
It really is. Take some Marshall in here, throw in a nice little mix of Utah State, and let's see what we make out of it.
throw some glue and glitter on there and put it on who knows? Who really knows? I think middle of the pack is probably the best projection, but I could see them not being very good. I could see this taking a year to them be like a real contender. But I think you guys, I mean, again, and it's a first year head coach. Like probably middle of the road is going to be the ceiling, but who knows? They added a bunch of talented players from reputable, albeit similar conference from Marshall. You know, they added players of the same ilk, and we'll see how they mix with the first year coach and just a new team. And again, talented players, but it's it's hard to gauge that. You know what I mean? It's hard to gauge what's gonna be first year coach, all these transfers. I think the ceiling would be a bowl game, and I think the floor is 3 to 4 wins. Like if I'm being completely honest, and that's just completely blind at the same time. if they end up going 7-8 wins and compete, I would if you predicted that, then good for you. But
yeah,
I will give you this. Momentum is always huge in this conference. Their non-conference schedule is not bad. They're tough. They open with Mississippi State.
We're doing it again.
Mississippi
Let's do it
State
again.
at home.
Win.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Let's go for it. All right. So Mississippi
State is going to be
at home.
Water.
Yeah, win.
At home.
Win for Southern Miss.
Win.
Jackson State.
Win.
Appalachian State also at home.
Loss.
Yeah, 2-1.
Louisiana Tech. That one's on the road.
2-2.
Jacksonville State at home.
3-2.
Yeah.
Then you get to conference play. Now it gets pretty difficult. At Georgia Southern.
Loss.
At Louisiana.
Loss. So 3-5.
3-5.
I think we're at. Let's see. We had 1, 2, 3. How many games have we done? We're at 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4.
ULM.
4 and 4.
No, loss. I say loss. 3 and 5. Shut up,
3 and 5.
Joe.
3 and 5.
Shut up, Espo.
It's so tough though, because like I find myself liking all these Sunbelt teams. Like I was almost gonna wear a Southern Miss shirt on the show too.
You should have. It would have been fine.
We're about to have a ULM guy on our podcast. We have to give them the win, you idiot.
Hey, I'm being real, okay?
3 and 5. 3 and 5.
At Arkansas State.
Loss.
Yeah.
Texas State.
Loss.
At South Alabama.
Win.
Ooh. I can see a win. I hate betting against Alabama. I hate betting against. So what am I, Justin?
7?
Yeah, 4 and 7. Justin, one of my these guys know this. I told them years ago. I'm not allowed to bet against any team with Alabama in their name. Doesn't matter who it is.
It bites him in the ass every time.
Every single time. So I just don't.
Without fail.
Georgia's is creeping into that list too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Georgia's just the worst to bet for or against.
Yeah, not allowed. I'm just not allowed. So it is what it is. We're
South
4 and
Alabama.
7?
Yeah, 4 and 7
right now.
And then Troy wraps it up.
Lost.
They can go 5 and 7. They can go 4 and 8.
No, 4 and 8. 4 and 8. Yeah, 4 and 5. 4 and 5. I don't think they get to a bowl game.
Their ceiling is 5 wins.
Yeah,
and that's a high ceiling.
Yeah, it really all hinges. It hinges on that start. Like if there's a lot of toss-ups in that early portion. Like if they start 5-0, then hey, we're looking at maybe like 8 wins. Yeah. They're like 3 and 2, you're in danger. 2 and 3, you're definitely out of a bowl.
That's a fun team to watch though, going forward.
Yeah, for sure. I think at the same time, like all of these teams are so much fun. Like each of them seem to just have their strengths. And moving on to the next tier here, and we'll see if my sound effect works. I hate the spring portal is what I titled this one. My sound effect won't work, but unfortunately, yeah, it didn't go. But this team was actually pretty stacked before the spring portal hit, and then they lost Gio Lopez and a bunch of other guys. But still looking at them, like I think they have a decent amount of talent. What do you guys think about the Jaguars?
I mean, you could probably put them with the same playing field as Marshall right now, with all the losses to the transfer portal. Like, yeah, excuse me, Marshall has probably a little bit bolstered up roster from them, but like at the same time, you don't know how well that's going to mesh. So with them having the spring transfer portal just decimate that team. I mean, they could be good, they could be bad. They're just in that weird spot where you're like, on paper, these guys should be good. Let's see how they play the first 2-3 games of the season, find their identity, and then go from there.
This seems also just like a lot of chaos, I feel like, because
yes, 100%.
you look at them some weeks like they fall flat, and then there's other weeks where they'll just blast somebody like 52-7.
Yeah, and they're electric football one week, and the other week they're like, just kidding, we forgot how to play. That's what they did last year.
I mean, they probably arguably lost the most in this conference from the portal. I mean, it's up there. It's certainly up there. I mean, you look at it. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost right tackle, or excuse me, their top receiver, Mississippi State. They lost their right tackle, an edge rusher, cornerbacks, nickelbacks.
Devin Marshall were having a transfer portal off.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
For real.
But well, let's take a look at who they do have. They've got Davenport and Pyron from Georgia Tech, who both have started before. They've got Bullock, who had nearly 1,000 rushing and receiving yards while he was sharing touches.
Yeah.
They've got an all-conference tackle, Jordan Davis, not to be confused with the NFL. Right, this is Jordan Davis in the NFL. Am I crazy?
Yep.
Yeah. And they added some defensive guys as including Ed Smith and Blaine, Mr. Myrick. No, I mean this is probably the biggest question mark of the conference, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, last year with the talent that they had, 5-2. We're not going to play the weekend. I don't have time to play another scheduled game for the South Alabama Jaguars. But like I said for myself, it's hard for me to bet against any team with Alabama in their name. But no, I think realistically, with all of that turnover, it's tough to see them getting around 5 wins. But would I be shocked for a bowl game for the Jaguars? Absolutely not. But look, we've been giving flowers to a lot of teams today. There's gonna have to be some teams that just don't win games. That's just the way that it is. And if you told me that they win 2-3 games, I'd say great. If you told me they win 6 games, I'd say sure. And I think we've also already talked about this, the nature of the Sun Belt. I think there are a lot of teams that fit into that mindset. Oh, I don't know what happened. I think we're still recording.
I think we are too. Justin might have just popped out real quick.
Yeah, I just think that there are so many teams that could be 2 to 3 wins, and there are and those same teams could also win 6 games. I think the top is the top for sure, and I think that the tier that Updog has is accurate, and I think that the step down, the Coastals of the world, could easily step into that top spot. But at the end of the day, I think we're getting into the teams now. It's South Alabama Jaguars, who, again, there's going to be teams in this conference that win 1, 2, 3 games. They could easily be that. But if at the end of the season they have 6 games and are going to have a bowl game, I would not be shocked. It's just a matter of the turnover is crazy. One of the craziest turnovers. Them, Marshall. There's a couple teams, but because I think the Sun Belt is kind of in a way, at this point with the NIL and everything, almost a stepping stone for younger players. And to make a name for yourself in a lower conference like the Sun Belt, we love it. And then the higher, I mean, you're seeing the Mississippi States of the world. You're seeing the lower SEC teams, even some higher SEC teams who are pillaging some of the Sun Belt in these conferences. And no, I again, for the record, I will not bet against South Alabama this year because it's against my rules.
No chance.
No chance. No chance. Won't do it.
So jump into our last tier here. These are teams that kind of feel like they are on, they carry less upside, but they're the bowl hopefuls. Teams that could crash a bowl game this year. We'll start with the beloved ULM Warhawks.
Yes.
I know you guys have a special guest potentially coming on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're very excited about that. Bowl hopefuls is the last category, right? the last tier. I think that's fair for them. Doing a little research on their schedule, it's a good schedule. It's not manageable in the hardest degree by any means, but I think the Warhawks. I mean, they played well last year, and they've been doing well recently. So I don't see why a bowl game is not on their schedule for sure. I think 7, 8 wins is a solid year for them. 6 obviously would be getting the bowl game, so I think that would be their minimum win total. But I think they can squeak out 7 or 8 wins with their schedule.
ESPN calls the guy, shout out Billy Poland. ESPN calls him the defense returns 11 of the 17 players with at least 200 snaps, including stars in end Cavante Wells, outside linebacker Billy Poland, and corner David Gotze. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? Why not them? That's all I can really say.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a young coach. It's a or newer coach. Again, this falls into what I just said about South Alabama. Not a team that by any means is going to sniff the championship, but could they sniff a bowl game? Abso-freaking-lutely.
And can they ruin someone else's bowl game chances or championship contendings? Absolutely. Like, they're going to play stinker for a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did to JMU last year.
Yep. Absolutely. They're going to do it again. I fully believe that. Like, they know that they're a good squad. They're not going to be that team that's going to contend and be in the title contending conversations, but they'll be like, hey, watch out, because when we hit you, we're going to hit you hard. I'm going to put an L on that schedule. It's going to make it real hard for you to compete. So good luck.
Started 5-1 last year, finished 0-6, which obviously was not what they were looking for. But they again, and led by our guy Billy Poland, one of the better defenses that this team has had in a long time, and that's going to be their bread and butter. Is going to be the defense. There's no way two shapes about it. It's defense, defense, defense. They do have, by the way, just offensive wise. Excuse me. Richmond. Excuse me. Zach Palmer Smith, 1,300-yard rusher, and they're bringing back. They have 1 transfer and 3 JUCOs on the offensive line, but they also returned 3 of them. Look, it's going to be a defensive team, and we're rooting for them. I look forward to getting my ULM merch soon. I think the ceiling, like we said, is bowl, no more than 6 wins, but they also could be down 3-4 wins. But we're going to be rooting for them, and the more we talk about this, and I know we only have one more team to go, I just want to mention this. Sunbelt is a real, and we've said it. It's a tougher conference than people give it credit for.
Yeah,
everyone talks about SEC, Big 10, Big 12 being tough conferences with all these stacked teams. Look at the Sun Belt, and you tell me a tough conference when you see one.
Yeah, I could talk myself into any of these teams at any given point. When I've gone through,
yes, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's like there are so many different conferences. Like, okay, we just quick example. We did SEC on our last pod that'll drop tomorrow, and Mississippi State. What was the other team? We had Mississippi State and who else?
As Kentucky
and Kentucky, garbage, terrible
teams.
Their tier was terrible. I don't think you could really put any Sun Belt team in the terrible slot. I really don't.
Not with the same haste that we did with those 2 squads.
No.
Yeah,
like Kentucky, Mississippi State.
Are there going to be bad teams? Sure, but like in the context of their division, their conference, it's hard to put one single Sun Belt team in terrible. And I don't mean that to be like, yeah, obviously teams need to lose, but like it's hard because these teams, they work hard. They work hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think I know the last one. Who's the last one? I think I know.
Well, and like this is the 10th one I've done now. So I've gone through all 10 in this series, and the Sun Belt and the Big 12 were definitely the 2 conferences where it felt like it was the closest between the first tier and the last tier. where
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if any given Saturday, or in the case of the Fun Belt, any given Tuesday, a team from the bottom tier beats a team from the top tier. Like, you could definitely see that throughout the year. It is going to be a bloodbath, guys. It really is.
It's the
But
Oh,
best.
so excited.
but yeah, like these bottom teams, like they had to rebuild a little bit. Maybe not as high on the talent, except for some guys like ULM's getting guys in there. Obviously, Billy Poland's a dog, and Bryant Vincent is a fantastic coach. But you're starting to see these teams be well coached and kind of work their way up. Georgia State is who we, at least for the team by team portion, we close out with. Georgia State, obviously late coaching change, things are pretty difficult. But Del McGee was a pretty good hire in there. I think they're building a pretty solid roster. They got Hurst at wide receiver, one of the best receivers in the whole country, and they go 4 deep at running back.
That's crazy work. I think their ceiling for the season's like the middle of the pack team. I don't think it's going to be a season where they're going to be in the contending title conversation, or like just outside that looking glass. But middle of the pack, I think, is a high enough realistic ceiling for them. Yeah, like you said, that late changing in the coaching staff was interesting for them, but they made a good hire. So I think he's going to come in, implement his way of football, and that's going to click with that offense, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
while last year was a struggle, they did still beat Texas State and Vanderbilt last year. So like
Yep.
they could
Yeah.
still play. They were up there with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, if they just lock a couple things down and tweak some system changes, like they're going to be fine.
yeah, like you said, they bring back Valu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Um, Quarterback, and then you mentioned Hurst, and then yeah, I mean I love the running back. You'd have to learn me on the fourth guy, but I know it's Simmons, Robinson, and Braswell running back wise. One of Robinson from Georgia. I mean, definitely somebody to
You,
that running back room is stacked.
y'all remember when he like committed to Georgia and everyone saw that really built picture of him and they're like, oh no, Georgia's got this
He's
guy.
the
He's going to destroy us
Yeah.
yeah.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like he's the next like AP or something along those lines.
Well,
He
Georgia
was.
did get them, just the state of Georgia, not Georgia.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a great. That's a great point. That's a great point. Um, uh, my concern though, despite that talent, is that their offensive line is made up of six transfers and two JUCOs. So that's going to be something. Talent is only as good as your offensive line, but the quarterback
Yeah.
and the Ted Hurst can hopefully keep defenses on their toes, especially in a Sun Belt conference. And yeah, I mean, it's similar to what we've been saying, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but it's just I I can see them winning 2 games in the Sun Belt and one extra, and I can see them winning 6, 7. It's I think all of these teams have similar upsides and similar ceilings, and I mean yes, I think that there are a clear cut group of teams that are going to win at least 8, 9, and I think that that's certainly something we can hang our hat on. But then you have a team like the Georgia State Panthers who are just interesting. I think I think that's the word that you would use for a lot of these teams is that they're interesting and they're going to be something to watch. And the Sun Belt Conference is going to eat each other up. They're going to beat each other
Yeah.
up, and that's just what it is. And the cream will rise to the top. Uh, and I think you did a very good job, Updog, of of tiering the main ones. Obviously, I have a little bit of a exception with the coastal Chanticleers, but I think in general the tier list is pretty accurate. I think you can maybe swap some here and there, but I think the top four that you have is accurate, and those are the teams that are going to be in the 7, 8, 9 win area for sure. But then you have these lesser teams that if they end up in a bowl game or 7 wins, I wouldn't be shocked at all. So that's why I love this
Yeah.
conference. It's just so much fun. And Georgia State
Yeah.
is not. I mean, like you said, four-headed monster. I'd probably call it a three-headed monster more than anything, running back wise.
The
Those are three
so the
running
fourth
backs. Yeah.
guy doesn't show up a
Yeah.
ton.
Let me know.
Amos, he was a 1,000 yard rusher for the Miami Redhawks, and then he got
Okay.
convinced to. I think he got convinced to go to Ole Miss, and then Ole Miss did their usual thing where they bury him on the depth chart, and then he kind of like transferred around trying to find a home since then. Kind of in a deep room here too, but he's a pretty solid back.
But like,
Love that.
as a defense, your boys are gonna be tired from chasing these dudes all down there, and they're like, "Hey, he's tired. Here's fresh legs. He's tired. Here's fresh legs." And you're like, "Dude, what the hell?" Four running backs deep is tough on a defense. So like, if you can find a nice rotation for that, you're gonna give a defense a tough day.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the defense for them is a little bit of a question mark, but if you're running the ball, you keep that defense protected and off the field. So let's put the money on the line here, guys. What are your Sun Belt championship picks? Who do you have in the conference championship? Who do you have winning it?
I think we talked about it already. I mean, I'm gonna pick a homer pick because we already mentioned it. Texas State is gonna be my pick for the championship contending or championship game, but also the winner. And I think they beat not App State, sorry, JMU. I think JMU Texas State is gonna be the Sun Belt championship game with my boys down in Texas, winning it all before they make the jump to the Pac-12.
Take back Texas movement. It's on.
It's in full force. They already took Texas. They're going to take Virginia next. Watch out.
Yeah. Man. I really want to not say what Espo said because Espo's an idiot, but I'm
You know
hard
you want to.
I'm hard pressed to not agree with him.
Joe's not here to bully that. You're okay. Agree with me,
Joe
Matt.
would
It's okay.
Joe would bully you more than me.
This is true.
I mean, I would love to put like an Old Dominion or a Coastal Carolina or even an App State, but no, I think it's JMU and Texas State, and I think JMU is the champion. I think it might be too easy, and I hate saying like I really don't want to say this, but I think I just have to take the chalk, and I think
But I
that's
mean,
the
sometimes
chalk.
that's your best pick. You know, if it's easy, sometimes
Yeah.
it's easy because it's right there. It doesn't have to overcomplicate.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
But this
I
is Fun Belt. You know, the Fun Belt is never simple. And that's
Nope.
why, you know what, I think I'm going to shake it up a little bit here. I'll go with the Raging Cajuns versus Georgia Southern in the championship with Louisiana
Wow.
coming home with the title.
All right, I respect that.
And then
mean, yeah.
final question here.
Yeah.
Final question here. Do you think the winner goes to the college football playoff?
God, I want to say yes, but no. I think that whoever wins has to do a lot of things correct and have a lot of things fall in their favor for them to even be in the contention to get into the college playoffs. Now that it's expanded, obviously it's a little easier. It's still a long road for them to do that, especially looking at how things shook out last year. I don't see it happening. Like if JMU went undefeated every game and they had a margin of victory of 20 plus points, they might be ranked like 7 or 8. And then eventually, when it comes to having the chips fall, the committee will be like, well, let's look at their schedule. Who'd they really play? And they'd somehow keep them off. It would be disrespectful, but I don't see JMU going 12-0 either.
I would love to say yes, and also to your point, I think if not Texas, I think the Raging Cajuns certainly offer the next best. Southern Miss as well, but I think JMU is pretty solid, and I think they're the heavy favorite. I think on most sports books right now, they're anywhere from 270 to 300 to win. So that being said, no, I don't. I would love it to be, but they would have to either go one loss, and even with the one loss, I still don't know if that would be enough. They would have to be undefeated in order to have a chance, which stinks because I think JMU specifically could be a very good team this year, and like just in general, could challenge some of these other you know Power 5 schools, but like. I no, gun to my head, the Sun Belt does not get into the college football playoff, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just you need some help from the other conferences. You need Boise State to get upset somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
I have their game at Air Force circled as one that could potentially cause chaos to Boise State season. You need the American to kind of beat themselves up. But we're talking about those conferences beating themselves up. I think we covered it early, throughout the show here.
Sun
I
Belt's
think the
going to beat
biggest
themselves
problem
up.
is that the conference is just so deep. It's really difficult to get a contender. We've had teams before that are worthy. We've had years where Sun Belt teams have taken down the best in the Power Five. We
Coastal.
had the one year. We've had Coastal do it. We had the one year where Marshall beat Notre Dame. And ultimately, those teams end up falling into conference play because there's just so many tough road trips. So I think that's why I'm going though, is because I think the conference's depth hurts it in this case, where there's just too many tough matchups, and you're probably going to see the winner come out with 2-3 losses.
It's a black and blue league, man. All they do is beat up on each other.
Yeah, they cannibalize each other, and it is what it
Which
is.
is great because it's good football, but
it's
in
like
the long game, it's a
the
tough one.
the 2020 the 2020 Coastal 11-1. Then they didn't even they had no chance. And I know it wasn't the expanded
Yeah, it
playoffs. I
was.
understand. I understand it wasn't the expanded playoffs, but 11-1, 11-2 in 2021. It's just A, they don't get the respect that they deserve, and B, it's just they cannibalize each other, and it's just not gonna. It stinks because I would love for it to happen. I mean, how cool would it be for these battle-tested teams to get a bid? But maybe one
If
day.
there ever was a team or a year for that to happen, like Pat said, those last couple of years, like the Chanticleers would have been that team to break that barrier. Like
Yeah, Jimmy Chadwell, baby.
everyone knew the Chanticleers. They knew about Coastal. They knew about the Teal Turf. Like they knew who they were, and still, just no respect. All over Twitter, everyone's like, "Are we really disrespecting the Chanticleers right now? Like, what are we doing? That's a
I
good
love
squad. They're
Coastal.
talented. They can go toe to toe with anybody, but they still didn't get the
And,
respect."
and don't forget that year. I know it's like the COVID year, everything was weird and stuff. Don't forget, like the Sun Belt dog walked the Big 12 that year. Like they played a bunch of games against each other early on because like they were like the only two conferences playing the out of conference games, and the Sun Belt just like dog walked them. And then you kept seeing the playoff rankings come out, and like Iowa State was ahead of Louisiana, who beat them by 3 touchdowns in Ames, and like Oklahoma was ahead of them too. Like you weren't seeing them get the respect they deserved, and that's kind of the downside about having a deep conference, because then people point to their conference losses saying, well, they lost 2 games, so maybe they weren't that great. But in all reality, it's just because this conference has so many good teams.
Yeah.
100%. It's there's no right or wrong answer to how to fix everything. But it's hopefully one day these teams, the Sun Belt specifically, gets some respect. I would hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys, it was a lot of fun talking Fun Belt tonight. Thanks for joining the show. Where can the people find you?
It's been a blast coming on, so we really appreciate it, man. You can find us on Instagram at A College Football Podcast. You can find us on TikTok at A College Football Podcast. You can shoot us an email, acollegefootballpodcast@gmail.com. The only place that it's a little different is X/Twitter, because you can't have that long of a username. But it's A College FB Pod. Follow us, like, subscribe, the whole nine. Updog Sports, you guys are great. So if you follow them, look for us because we're always interacting with them. So drop us that follow all day, every day. And Pat, I'm gonna let you talk, and then I'm gonna make an announcement before we sign off.
Oh, I don't even know what that is, but yes, yeah, A College FB Pod. Es- Joe does a great job. Espo does a great job with our socials. Justin, you and the rest of Updog now are contractually obligated to come on our show, so we will set that up for you to come on and talk some college football with us. Hopefully Matt will be on, and your intern as well. And
our
we will
Joe.
and our Joe. Yes, we will have a big fun time. But yeah, no, this has been awesome. Very 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 much appreciate it. Honestly, you don't know how much we appreciate getting to collaborate with other uh, like-minded shows. And you were awesome, man. You're a great host, and this was a lot of fun. So thank you so much. And
Awesome.
Joe,
Yeah.
I
Thanks.
guess if you have
Time
some
for the big
announcement, I don't even
announcement.
know what this. What
Well,
is this
before we
announcement?
sign off, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, we've talked about it a little bit prior and earlier in the show. We have 3 Sunbelt teams on a college football podcast. Pat is a coastal fan. Joe is an App State fan, and myself, I am a Texas State fan. Unfortunately, this is the last year that Texas State will be in the Sun Belt. So I will be rooting for them all year long, like I have been the last couple years. That being said, they're moving to the Pac 12. I will still be a Texas State fan. Do not get me wrong. But when it comes to picking a new team for the Sun Belt specifically, I have to say they've been the most vocal on Twitter. They've had the most influence on me on Twitter and just via DMs in general. My new Sun Belt team, starting in 2026, is the Warhawks. Give me ULM.
Yeah, let's
We're gonna go Warhawk,
go.
baby.
Let's go.
We're having Billy pulling on Sunday. Like, let's go. Let's go. I'm already an
That was the
LSU
actual
fan. We might
announcement.
as well just get another L team in there somewhere. You know, it's fine. Let's go ULM for 2026. Again, Texas State, my team, all 2025 for the Sun Belt.
So
The
dumb.
next Sun Belt team will be the ULM Warhawks.
There we
Go ahead,
go.
Billy Paul.
Go Warhawks. Yes. Got another Warhawk in here. Let's go. Let's go.
So yeah, we'll definitely be getting merch for that because you guys have some pretty dope merch too, which also helps.
Seriously, they have incredible stuff. Like I always like this like older Hawk logo.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I got another shirt that has like their newer logo on it. Like they have some cool stuff. Um Man,
Plus, the
that is
Warhawk is
awesome.
like such a different name than every other team. Like Chanticleers, fantastic name. Different from everything else. It's not a tiger. It's not a person or whatever it is. Warhawk. It's badass. Starting 2026. Do not forget 2026.
Very awesome. Oh man, well, thanks for doing that announcement on the show. That was
You're no
awesome.
problem.
Very glad to have hopefully helped convince you to the ULM Warhawks. I will continue to agenda push for the Warhawks moving forward.
Please do.
Thank you guys again for joining the show. It was awesome having you guys on. And of course, we are looking forward to making this we're not the Power Five. We do a home and home series. So looking forward to finishing that back end of the home and home series. Guys, thanks for coming on. And of course, if you're watching us for the first time, you can find us at Updog Sports Talk on all social medias. That includes Twitter, or I guess it's now called X, Instagram, TikTok, and we are on YouTube, which is probably most likely where you found this podcast, but we also are available on Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us, and get ready because college football season is almost here. Have a good one, everyone.
Peace out, guys.